Making mistakes is a fundamental aspect of the human experience. No one is immune to errors in judgment or lapses in ethical conduct. The key lies not in avoiding mistakes altogether, as that is an unrealistic aspiration, but in cultivating a proactive approach to learning from them. Recognizing that mistakes are inevitable allows one to adopt a more compassionate and understanding attitude toward oneself and others. When an error occurs, whether it is a misstatement of fact or a more serious breach of trust, the initial reaction may be one of shame or defensiveness. However, dwelling on these negative emotions can be counterproductive. Instead, it is essential to shift the focus toward identifying the root cause of the mistake and developing strategies to prevent its recurrence. This process often involves a thorough self-assessment. One should honestly evaluate their motivations, thought processes, and actions that led to the error. Were there any external factors that contributed to the situation, such as stress, fatigue, or pressure from others? Were there any internal factors, such as a lack of knowledge, poor judgment, or a tendency to act impulsively? By answering these questions candidly, one can gain valuable insights into their own behavior patterns and identify areas for improvement. Once the underlying causes of the mistake have been identified, the next step is to develop a plan for preventing similar errors in the future. This plan may involve acquiring new knowledge or skills, modifying existing habits, or changing one's approach to decision-making. For example, if a mistake was caused by a lack of knowledge, one might consider taking a course, reading a book, or consulting with an expert. If a mistake was caused by poor judgment, one might consider seeking advice from a trusted mentor or developing a more systematic approach to evaluating options. If a mistake was caused by a tendency to act impulsively, one might consider practicing mindfulness techniques or developing a habit of pausing before making decisions. In addition to learning from one's own mistakes, it is also important to learn from the mistakes of others. Observing how other people handle their errors can provide valuable lessons and insights. One can learn from their successes, their failures, and their strategies for recovery. By studying the experiences of others, one can expand their own understanding of human behavior and develop a more nuanced approach to dealing with mistakes. Honesty is a cornerstone of ethical conduct and strong relationships. While there may be times when it seems easier or more advantageous to be dishonest, the long-term consequences of dishonesty can be severe. Lying can damage trust, erode relationships, and create a climate of suspicion and mistrust. In contrast, honesty fosters trust, strengthens relationships, and promotes a sense of integrity. There are several reasons why honesty is so important. Firstly, honesty is essential for effective communication. When people are honest with each other, they can communicate openly and directly without fear of deception or manipulation. This allows them to build stronger relationships, resolve conflicts more effectively, and work together more productively. Secondly, honesty is essential for building trust. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship, whether it is a personal relationship, a professional relationship, or a relationship between individuals and organizations. When people are honest with each other, they demonstrate that they are reliable, trustworthy, and worthy of respect. This builds trust and strengthens the bonds between them. Thirdly, honesty is essential for maintaining integrity. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. When people are honest, they demonstrate that they are committed to upholding ethical standards and doing what is right, even when it is difficult. This enhances their reputation and builds confidence in their judgment. While honesty is generally considered to be the best policy, there may be times when it seems difficult or even impossible to be honest. For example, one may be faced with a situation where telling the truth would harm oneself or others. In such situations, it is important to carefully consider the potential consequences of both honesty and dishonesty and to choose the course of action that is most ethical and responsible. In some cases, it may be possible to be honest without revealing all of the details. For example, one might be able to answer a question truthfully without providing unnecessary information that could be harmful. In other cases, it may be necessary to delay the truth or to find a way to soften the blow. The key is to be mindful of the potential impact of one's words and actions and to choose the course of action that is most likely to promote positive outcomes. Cultivating honesty requires a commitment to self-awareness and ethical conduct. One must be willing to examine their own motives, to challenge their own biases, and to hold themselves accountable for their actions. It also requires a willingness to listen to others, to understand their perspectives, and to treat them with respect. By practicing these principles consistently, one can cultivate a habit of honesty and build stronger relationships. In conclusion, learning from mistakes and practicing honesty are essential for personal growth and building strong relationships. Mistakes are inevitable, but they provide opportunities for learning and improvement. Honesty fosters trust, strengthens relationships, and promotes a sense of integrity. By embracing these principles, one can live a more fulfilling and meaningful life.